very special holiday that celebrates a man that stood for equality and nonviolence. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Oh, one of my favorite holidays. So, of course, everybody, we had to honor him. It's because of Dr. King and all that he fought for today that we can sit as all women of color on a daytime talk show. This would not have happened 50 years ago. Okay? So, we just want to celebrate and honor him today. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has made and continues to make a huge impact on our world. So we had a few personal thank yous that we would like to say to him and to his family. I'll go first. Dr. King, I want to say thank you for your selflessness. The closest I ever got to actually meeting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was in college through his daughter, Yolanda King. She came to speak at Prairie View A&M University. I was on the committee that made the arrangements, and so I was able to have dinner with her after the speech.
Wow.
Her speech was fantastic. And Yolanda told us stories about her father because she was the oldest. And she said that it was funny because after the assassination, they didn't have any money. See, people didn't realize that Dr. Martin Luther King was doing this for no salary. You don't get paid as an activist. So there wasn't much money when he passed. And it got me to thinking, he didn't do this because of money. He did this because he really believed in trying to get equality for all people. He put his life on the line for all of us and fought to make this country better. So for that, I would like to say, thank you, Dr. King. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. King.
That was
Jeannie.
beautiful, Lonnie. Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
I'm moved by your story. I want to say to Dr. Martin Luther King and his legacy for being honest about fear, thank you. The biggest impact that he had on me was that he acknowledged the reality of fear. He encouraged people to honestly confront the fears that block their emotional. Don't deny that it's there. And they also can block your spiritual and your political growth. People saw him be fearless in the face of arrests and physical violence. But because he was vulnerable, he showed how an inspired leader acknowledges fearful things, but still finds the courage to respond with love and righteousness. So for that, I say thank you so much, Dr. King.
Oh,
Yes.
well said. Well said, Jeannie. I'll go next. Dr. King, I'd like to say thank you for the confidence to dream. His vision, North Star, he gave people that look like me the confidence to dream boldly and out loud. My personal belief is I owe my entire career to dreaming bravely and moving without fear. His vision of inclusion made it possible for me to walk through doors of professional growth and take advantage of opportunities that were closed to the people of color. Oh my God, he also made it possible for me to choose to love and create a family with a man from a different race. And because of that, I am blessed with my amazing boys, Jax and Jade. Through his gift of relentlessness, chasing equality and respect for all, regardless of color, race, creed, we are teaching our kids the beauty of using their voice in nonviolent protests to pay it forward for generations to come. I will always be humbly grateful for his vision and love, and for that, I say thank you, Dr. King.
So beautiful, Garcelle.
Lovely.
Oh, beautiful. Dr. King, I'd like to thank you for your unwavering faith. You taught us to never stop believing and having faith in the face of adversity. You showed us how to have faith that a better world was to come. You made sure to always, always put God first in everything that you did, and you showed unconditional love in the midst of hate. And one of the things that I love is that whenever you were facing trouble, you turned to prayer. And that has really encouraged and influenced me. So for that, I say thank you, Dr. King.
Wonderful. Well said, ladies. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has affected all of our lives. He taught us to be proud of who we are and to fight against hate and replace it with love. He said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And even though we're not quite there yet as a nation, we have some work to do. We've made huge strides in the fight for justice and equality for all. So let's take a look.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Let freedom ring from the snow-capped mountains of Colorado.
Let freedom ring
from the curvaceous slopes of California.
But not only that.
Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain in Georgia.
Dejen resonar la libertad desde la montaña lookout de Tennessee.
Let freedom ring
from every hill and molehill of Mississippi.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
The big day is almost here. We are just 2 days away from Inauguration Day, where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be sworn as President and Vice President of the United States. But to say the Biden-Harris administration has their work cut out for them is an understatement. They are going to be taking office during a time of extreme turmoil in our country with a variety of issues at the forefront that need addressing. Which got me thinking, what issues, if you could choose, would you like to see the Biden-Harris administration tackle first? If you could make your wish list, ladies, what's on the very top of your list?
It's a long wish list.
They're going to have a lot of things to do to undo that the Trump administration has done. But one of the things I want to see is a task force that will deal with specifically with COVID and trying to reduce it so we can get back to some kind of normalcy. But the other thing that's really high on my list, since I came to the United States as an immigrant, I would love to see the immigrant children that were separated from their families. I would love to see them back together with their families. I would love a way for immigrants to be able to come back to America, because that's what makes this a melting pot, and that people can live and thrive and help people in their countries. And that's what my family did. So I would love to see that.
I agree with you, Garcelle. The COVID is the number one thing. It is stopping businesses, it is stopping schools. Yep. He is going to have to get the task force together. He's going to have to get the vaccines together. He may have to put a national mandate for a mask for a short period of time. I don't know how much longer Americans can be. Some Americans are isolated, some aren't. So he's going to have to handle that. And he has started, doing that, but that's going to be like number one. For me, it would be this plan that he had for Black America. And I believe Kamala Harris will be helping him with that. There was a plan on his website. I would like to see some of those items addressed, as well as getting those kids out of cages. We have to do something about the border. We have to do something as a nation. And more importantly, somehow heal us together as people. We can have differences of political affiliations, but we have to somehow bring back being Americans, that is our top priority, and that we respect the Constitution. So I hope that he instills some type of program to make us more patriotic, more friendly to each other, become more Americans instead of being divided.
Agree. Agree.
Absolutely agree. I echo your ladies' sentiments about COVID. I want to see those stimulus checks passed out. People are moving out of their homes, closing down their businesses, not able to put like the last month's meal in their children's mouths. So I want those $2,000 stimulus checks handed out to the right people that are in need. I'd like a schedule for the vaccines. It's so weird to me that it's kind of first come, first get, unless you happen to know some type of medical arrangement.
Real order.
Like we need to prioritize who needs it first, and we need to stand back and let that be delegated in an organized way. And I also want to see this economy back and booming. That's the number one thing I think America needs. We need to see businesses thriving. We need to see leases being paid. We need to see all these mom and pop stores survive. New York streets don't even look the same anymore. So that's the number one thing I think in order is pandemic and then the economy.
I'm right there with you, with all of you. I think our number one thing is we need to survive. So the first thing first is our health. Our health is the most important thing, and I think that really taking charge of what's happening with this pandemic is the number one most important thing. I absolutely am hoping, Lonnie, like you mentioned, that he absolutely will do an order to wear masks, mandate that, and how important that is, followed by some real order to how these vaccines are being given. I think there are still so many people that don't have access to vaccination. So I think that that is super important. And then again, followed by immigration. What is the plan for that? What are we doing for these children that have now been traumatized? What is going to be the plan for that? And then moving forward as well, like we said, social injustice and handling that with police reform and so much more. But I think the key to all of this is remembering that this man is stepping into a situation, this man and this woman, Kamala as well, they are stepping into a situation that is wildly difficult. We need to remember this. While we absolutely need to continue to put pressure, we also need to recognize that things need to be done in an orderly way, and we can't expect for, let's pray for a miracle to happen, but I don't think that should be the expectation that it happens overnight. This is absolutely going to take some time.
It really is.
And it starts with this positive thinking, everybody having the ability to band together, unite together like we should be as a country.
Now, I know there's a lot going on right now, and that for many is a very stressful time. But what do you do when the stress becomes too much to take? Well, Madame Noir recently put out some stress management techniques to keep you from lashing out at your loved ones. So, ladies, I'm curious, how do you react when you find yourself in stressful situations? How do you manage it?
Sometimes taking a shower and crying in the shower, if you feel like you just need a moment. I'm one of those people that doesn't feel very comfortable crying or being wildly vulnerable in front of people. So sometimes if I'm feeling some type of way, I will take a second to just be like, I'm gonna go take a shower, but I'll be in there praying, crying, like, Lord, you gotta get me through this. Yeah.
Wow.
That's like my quiet place.
Wow. For me, I have to say, like when I'm stressed, I feel like I'm snappy. I feel like my emotions, I can cry at the drop of a hat. I apologize to my kids a lot when I'm stressed because I feel like sometimes I take it out on them. But I also think like, taking a walk, taking a bath, like you said, Adrian. I feel like for me also, like maybe connecting with my kids and having movie night. And one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm taking a break from social media during the weekends. I don't post, I don't look as much, just because I need a little bit of that just getting away and feeling like it's just about me. And I just spoke to a medical doctor, and she said, you know what? when you wake up in the morning, don't turn on the news because you're putting the news before you. Center yourself. Take a deep breath.
Yes.
You know, I always say affirmations when I wake up. Do that. And then she also said, even picking up your phone and looking at social media when you first wake up, you're putting your friends and everybody else before you. So I started doing that, and I feel like it's helped.
Social media is a really smart one to add to that list, Garcelle, being able to have a boundary with how much time you interact on there. And then like the cooker on As Seen on TV, set it and forget it. Like step away, put it down. Don't sit there and refresh and look for it, you know? Another very basic mechanism that we have inside of us that I don't think we've learned how to utilize for stress relief is breathing. I know you've talked about it, Marty, and I so appreciated you bringing it up, but learning how to effectively breathe, how to actually hold and really exhale from like the very pit of your stomach, not an exhale out of the chest, but something where you just really allow yourself to clarify every single thing in your system. That's a great art too. And we should actually do more of those exercises we did one time.
We should. And you know what? Those are great suggestions. And ladies, the thing that I do is like, if you're really mad at someone, what I do is I will write it out. I will write out what I'm mad at. I'll type it out or I'll text it, but I won't send it to the person. And I also take a beat. Sometimes in life, just take a beat, you know? Sometimes if you get upset and you're about to get in an argument with somebody, grab some water and drink some water and give yourself a beat.